iconic Brown Hotel has been woven into the fabric of Louisville for over 100 years. Of course, it's known for its beautiful architecture, fine Southern hospitality, and its famous hot brown. There's a new chef in town excited to shake things up, yet still honor the traditions here in the Bluegrass. Chef Gary Palm joins us in the Charlie Wilson KitchenAid kitchen to tell us more. And Chef, we have been so excited about you to come in. I've had the pleasure of enjoying a lot of your food on your new menu. But first, let's kind of back up a little bit. Tell me a little bit about your culinary history.
Well, I actually grew up outside of Boston, and I was able to go to school, culinary school, and I met a French chef, and he said to me, if you really want to learn how to cook, you need to go to France. So as a young kid, I sold everything, took off, and went to France.
Oh my gosh.
And ended up staying for about 10 years.
Yeah.
And from there, I went to Monaco, and then after Monaco, I came back to the U.S. for a little bit and worked, and then I got the itch again to travel, and I took off for 17 years between India, Korea, China, and Indonesia, which I learned the culture, the food, eating habits, styles of eating, different cooking methods, and that's a little bit where I have this dish. It's a little bit of a cross of an Asian dish, plus with French influence from the shrimp stock. But the shrimp are absolutely beautiful.
They are.
And it's something real quick you could do at home, because I didn't want to make anything too complicated. I'll never be able to make that. And if you watch what we're doing, I think you can make it at home also.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think your experience, working in many different kitchens across the world, I think your approach to working in a kitchen is very different from what we see on TV. It's nothing like,
it's completely
but
different.
Kind of explain that and like the mentoring that you work in your kitchen.
Well, the whole thing is, I've brought in a lot of kids that had literally didn't even know how to use a knife.
Wow.
And fortunately, we've been able to teach them to a point where, they move up and they're inspired and they love what they do. And, one of the young kids, he was with me for quite a few years, and he just became executive chef. And he was very, very happy about it. And, and he actually called me when he got his #2 job. And I actually said to him, I said, what are you calling me for? You're not even an executive chef yet. And that was only to push him to, to keep being hungry to move and learn and understand people and how to work. Just being a great cook is not being an executive chef.
Right.
You have to be a mentor. You have to be, clairvoyant sometimes and predict the future, because you don't know what's coming.
Right.
You have to really be a magician sometimes, because you have a lot of people arriving. You have to understand the products. You have to understand the equipment. You have to understand temperaments of people and how to pull them to work as a team. And when you come in the kitchen and you come in our kitchen, all the cooks are quiet and everyone's focusing, because everyone has all that energy to put out towards the dishes. And I said, the only job you have to do is put a smile on the guest's face.
Yeah.
So that's...
And the food certainly shows that. And so this is a tiger shrimp with orange blossom and honey garlic.
Right.
Which is incredible. It smells absolutely amazing. And like you mentioned, it only takes a few minutes to do. Yeah,
it's relatively very simple. It's got a few key ingredients, which are obviously the shrimp. You start off with great products. It's pretty easy to create good dishes.
And these are the biggest shrimp I've ever seen, by the way.
Oh,
it is certainly a quality
I have
product.
seen some freshwater that were that big.
Oh my gosh.
Actually in India.
Yeah, that is incredible. So you've been all over the world, but really what drew you to Louisville?
Well, I think, cooking in the South, and people eat, excuse me, people eat, and it's part of the culture of sitting down with your family and having a great meal.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you don't see that everywhere. And here it gives people a chance to eat and talk about a dish, or talk about what happened in school or what happened in life or family and everything.
Yeah, and I think you pointed out when I got to enjoy some of your meals
Yeah.
is that the American culture is very hustle bustle, go go go.
Right.
That's why we have so many fast food restaurants. But now you're kind of shifting the culture, and I mean the Brown Hotel does this time and time again, where you're actually dining. You're not just eating. You're dining.
You're dining. And dining is trying different foods and experience, because food can go on forever and ever. And style of eating and style of cooking, a lot of it stays the same, but it's all depends on the inspiration and what's in your heart and how to cook and everything.
And these are some of your dishes on the screen
those are some
right
of them.
now.
Yep. That is the lobster in pure butter.
And what I like too is you don't really change the food. You actually, you don't want to alter nature.
Yeah, I don't believe in, don't bother Mother Nature.
Yeah.
And the whole thing on a plate, when you order a dish, you should see what you have. And once you have it, you say, okay, like I know I ordered the shrimp with the honey and garlic, I see it. You don't want to get a dish where, oh, I thought I ordered shrimp and honey and garlic and it looks nothing like it.
Right.
And obviously then when you taste it and you eat it and you understand the flavors, and whenever you create a dish, there has to be a whole thought process. It's not just throwing stuff together. It's, okay, how do I extract the best out of the natural flavors of this dish? So when you have it, you're looking at the shrimp, and then the other flavors are a little bit like music in an orchestra.
Yeah.
Everyone else playing the small instruments, but the music together is beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. And so
So
the
that kind of describes it.
Yeah, the presentation is always so stunning, as we saw in those photos. But to actually be there in person is just something else. And you're actually releasing this today on your menu.
Yeah, we're going to put this on the market special for this evening for dinner time as an appetizer.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we're thrilled to have you, and
Thank you.
I think Louisville's gonna receive this so well. And of course, the hot brown is staying on the menu, right?
The hot brown's staying on the menu. Yeah, that will be there forever.
Yeah, so you're kind of going to roll out the new menu kind of slowly, because some people don't adapt to change well, but I think this is going to be very well received.
Yeah, we're doing a good little mix of some lamb, and we have duck, and we have the shrimp, we have the red snapper
Yes.
that we sold last night a lot of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Yeah.
just so wonderful. Chef, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
in.
My pleasure.
And I cannot wait to go back and enjoy even more of your food.
All
So
right.
thank you.
We have a great day.
Yes, you too. So to make your reservation, just visit brownhotel.com.